very important update on my Bitcoin trade. So as you know, I've actually shorted up here. I've given you all these trades. I'm up about, on this specific account, $5,000 on this trade alone. But there is a very, very, very important level down here that, and I might need to consider taking some profits. That's very important, not closing the trade, but there is a particular thing I'm looking for to take that 20, 30% profit off. There is a possibility for us to bounce up to $75,000. So I do want to make sure that I am on the right side of the trade and I'm maximizing my profits. That's what I'm going to talk about today. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗏𝗏. I do these updates every single day. They are 5 to 10 minute long, basically sharing with you what I do with my own money and how I navigate the market. I mean, about 7 days ago, I said that I have not seen this pattern since the October top. That was this market structure shift, and then I shorted publicly. So if you want to participate in these, then subscribe, join the 140,149 subscribers that we have here, and also join in on the Telegram. It's a channel where I post my thoughts. It's free, so check that out. Okay, let's go. Also, guys, turn the bell notifications on because we usually don't post it on X, all that, so just turn the bell notifications on. Would appreciate it. Very important. So I posted this on the 25th of May, about 7 days ago, and I said daily close below the previous low, market structure shift, the final coffin and nail, sub 60,000. Bitcoin was up about 78,000 when I posted this. Same thing here. The reason why I think we can see sub 60 very, very, very fast is, as I said here, when things break, they will break fast. And people were up here when I made this post. I don't even want to go into that, but when I said the post is the top is in again, by the way, I called this the top in October the same way. If I look at this and you go down here, you see so many people, so many people were like, oh yeah, you're so stupid, this is not going to happen, all that. So the reason why this is interesting is because if you look at the market since then, I mean, since my post and the short, Bitcoin is down about 7%. And this is a massive meltdown. I was talking about the fact that, we're going to melt up a little bit, but it was not really a melt up. It was rather like a staircase up. But this doesn't look like a staircase to me. It looks like a complete obliteration and distribution, which it is. Close above and the distribution face to the downside. Sub 60,000 is definitely in the cards. I do believe that we're going to get there, but I rather think this would be the more likely setup than just straight down, unless there is some major escalations that happen, although the market doesn't seem to care that much about it. All that while the S&P is making all new time highs. So I think even though people are like, yeah, but there has to be a catch-up trade, or people just gonna realize that everything else is moving, but crypto is not, so they're leaving. So ultimately, I'm just checking the chart, doing the chart, and this is what I'm going to do here as well. From here on out, it said that it's pretty simple. You just short, come back in August, September, buy Bitcoin sub 60. But it's not that simple. I'll tell you why. So if you do, so a couple of things, and I want you to pay attention. One of them is, I've been saying markets always retrace 50%, right? So if I just pull this is the daily high up here. This is the daily high, daily OB. If I just pull, we're down here. And if I just pull this fib, which is 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, don't count this market structure shift, then I'm looking for the 50% retrace. Markets always retrace 50%. So you push 50, push 50, push 50, push, break, 50, 50, 50. Okay, same way. So now, if I want to find where we're going back, I said the problem with this bounce here and the reason of the retrace that is coming is that we can close above this daily high that was formed here at around 78,200. But that threat is basically gone because you have to follow the price action. And because this entire leg did not have a 50% retrace, the retrace, even if it happens, and even if it happens from here, comes straight into this higher time frame order block. Therefore, there's literally nothing to worry about. This is not going to close above here, in my opinion, before we go to sub 60. So there's not going to be a close above 78,200 before we go to sub 60,000, in my opinion, okay? That's what the chart is telling me. So why do I consider taking some profits? Couple of things. I don't know what I killed. I don't know if I have sound here. Something just fell down. Okay, whatever. No, stay. It's fine. It's fine. So here's what I'm looking at. One is that what I want to see is either some kind of retrace. A couple of things. One, usually I talk about the Monday false, not the Monday false move, but between Monday and Wednesday there is manipulation happening usually in the market. Why? Because it's always accumulation, manipulation to one side, distribution to the other, right? Something like this. So that's a very similar pattern to what we're seeing now. accumulation, manipulation. There can be a little bit of distribution to the upside. I'm not saying that we're going to close above there, but this could be reversed and have a little bit of a pullback here. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's like thousands and thousands of dollars on these accounts that I'm running. So I'd rather just take some profit. For me, the level to take some profit from is actually the 15-minute market structure shift. And I have a feeling that it is going to happen today. Now, I can look at the hourly as well, but the hourly is all the way up here, so that would be quite late. That would already be like a 6% move. So even though I'm not going to long that move, I do believe that it makes a lot of sense. I might long it, but not for now. Makes sense to actually take profits once we have a 15-minute market structure shift at 7,000. Before you start taking profits like a madman, I'm taking about 30% off. Why? Because that 30% is going to be enough for me to cover my stop loss in case I'm wrong and in case this goes back, and so I am going to take about 30% if we close above this level, 71,058 on the 15-minute. If we close above that level, that has to be aligned with the market. Yeah, exactly. It has to be aligned here as well. 2.41 trillion on the total market cap. So if we see that, I'm going to take 30% of my position, and I might consider a long if we come back. Okay, I'm not gonna be rushing into a long because I know it's hot potato. We might have a 3% move, which could be great, but this is ultimately what I'm looking at. So that's that. One is the manipulation, and two, that there has to be, we're coming into, if you go into the daily chart, we're coming into some serious demand down here. So I know it's artificial demand, like I know that, because this was, just a retrace push into that. You see this sell-off here, and then all this ways, elevator down, stairs up. I would not be surprised if we have a continuation down, so that's what I expect. But I have to play the chart, and if we have a bounce from this order block, I mean, that basically tells me that there is a little bit of a demand here, and they need to trap more people before they send this lower. So I would not be surprised. And then the third scenario, which is like the more likely in my opinion, is that we go down to 68,000-ish region, around down here, around this region. If we come down, I think we will, and show a market structure shift on the hourly or 15-minute, whatever, I think it's worth looking at a long position, but definitely worth closing 20, 30, 40% of the short and get in a little bit higher with a better entry and already basically a risk-free trade, because the 30% that you take, if you size properly, should be enough to cover your stop loss in case it gets hit. So this is what I think is going to happen. TLDR, I do believe that we're going to sub 60,000. It can happen anytime. By the way, don't forget, the 60,000 is about 14% down. This move right here was, if I put this up here, this move was a 33% move in how many days? In 9 days. So don't think that this cannot happen and it would take a long time and whatnot. But I also do believe that this is the final flush. We'll see how low we can go. Someone actually sent me a DM or someone actually asked me on X how low I think we can go. I think we're not going to breach 48,000. That's what I think. That's like the lowest I see us going, 48,000. But I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I have no idea. This is just what I see on the chart. We've got to take it level by level. So TLDR, I am looking for a potential bounce here a little bit. Not higher than like 73. If it really wants to push, then potentially it comes back to like the 65, 66, 70, 75, 76K region. Don't think that's happening, but I want to be prepared for that. And that's why I'm going to take 30% off my positions once there is a market structure shift. Of course, I'm going to post it in the community. This is why I have the channel. So I'm going to post when that happens. Ultimately, I would expect us to go a little bit lower down here at around 68,000, show a market structure shift around that region, and then go from there. If this happens, I'm much more interested in longing as well as a scalp all the way up here to like 73-ish, which by the way, at that time, we'll very much align with the 50%. Until then, I'm literally just waiting it out and riding the short position. It's very important to remember this. I really screwed up in October because we made like, I think it was like a 40% trade on 3x leverage or something, or 2x leverage. So it was still a great trade, but I could have made so much more if I just rode it all the way down. And I think this is another opportunity with a daily break. It might take time to play out, but ultimately it is going to sub 60,000 in my opinion, and I want to be on that train. One more thing that I wanted to tell you, two things actually. One of them is that I know that a lot of you actually signed up to 2bit. A lot of you have, and you didn't use your account. So what we created is a deposit bonus, meaning if you deposit $1,000, it says here, if you deposit $200, you get $20 bonus. If you deposit $400, you get $40. So it's basically a 10% bonus up to $1,000. If you deposit $1,000, you get $100 in bonus that you can literally just use to short, to long, and take the profit with it. That's number one that I wanted to tell. Sign up, link in the description. Non-KYC, available worldwide, based in Singapore. Very cool exchange. The other thing I wanted to tell you is Bitfunded. So we have been running this campaign where people who signed up using our link get a $5,000 account. There is going to be distribution happening today. 5 of you will get a $50,000 account as well. And I would urge you to wait out the week, because next week, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you this, but next week is a big celebration at Bitfunded. It's going to be their anniversary, and they're preparing something that has not been done before. So if you want to buy yourself a challenge, I would wait a little bit, because I think it's going to be worth the wait. Guys, appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and ride the wave. Take care.